Stella entered into the house, unsure of what to do with the news she'd just heard. She thought of telling Bamidele, but quickly discarded the idea. What if, just what if, I am going to keep this to myself and see if he would ever notice? Meanwhile, Bamidele on his side was beginning to have a rethink. I haven't been a fair man, he said to himself as he sat on the veranda of his house. How did I get here? And what came over me? How could I claim to have loved her when I went back on my words at the sight of the first big challenge we had in our marriage, and come to think of it, after everything, I still didn't even get to have the male children I so much desired. He decided he was going to apologize to Stella and ask for her forgiveness. He had been so carried away by the prospect of something new that he forgot the sacrifices Stella had made for him and how she had loved him even when he had nothing. I hope it's not too late, and I hope she would still be able to forgive me. Bamidele went inside and knocked on Stella's door. Yes, come in, she replied with surprise evident in her voice. It's been a while anyone knocked on her door, so whoever it was definitely has some explanation to do. She gave Bamidele a questioning look as he made his way into her room. To what do I owe this honor, she asked. Has your wife reported me to you again, or is there a task you want me to do for you? A wave of regret washed through Bamidele as the reality of those words hit him. How did he get to a place where he started treating someone he once loved more than life itself as a slave? What had come over him? He had been so consumed with his desire for a child that he didn't even realize the damage he was causing. He went on his knees with tears flowing down his cheeks. Stella, I am sorry. Stella was immediately taken aback. Sorry? For what exactly? And if this is some kind of joke or another way to humiliate me, you had better stop. I am sorry for all the pain I caused you, he continued. I was so blinded by my desire for a child that I failed to put how my actions would affect you into consideration. I know I already took another wife, but please forgive me and let's make things work between us again. Stella looked at him with a stare that could pierce even the hardest of walls. I should forgive you? Where are you sleeping when Kemi was humiliating me that you could not stop her? Oh, that's even too far. You started the humiliation first, Bamidele, when you turned me to her servant. You even went as far as telling me I couldn't understand her just because I have never been pregnant and you just think this would solve it. Stella, I am sorry, she said mockingly. You must really take me for a fool. I have been quiet long enough and God knows I should have gotten my voice a long time ago, but not anymore. I'll no longer take any form of insult from you or your wife. She got up from her bed and made way to leave the room, but Bamidele held her back. Stella, please. I don't know what came over me. Please, forgive me. Stella looked back at him. Then what about Kemi, she asked. Are you going to send her away because we both had an agreement before we started this marriage? I am still thinking of what to do, Stella, please. Give me time. You know she is the mother of my children, and I can't send her and the kids away just like that. You are not yet ready, she said within herself. Stella deliberated on whether to tell him about the news of her pregnancy, but decided against it. I need to be sure he has really realized his mistake and not just doing all of this cause of the possibility of us having a child, she said to herself. Let me know when you conclude, she said as she walked out of the room, leaving him alone on his knees in the room. Bamidele called for a family meeting the next day. He needed to make his way right, but at the same time he couldn't just throw Kemi away from his life, especially now that she has 3 children for him. The 2 women sat down on different chairs across Bamidele. Kemi could be seen eyeing Stella from the corner of her eyes. Have you called us to inform us of your decision to send this barren woman away? She said mockingly. She keeps eating and growing fatter with no child to show forth. Stella made an attempt to talk, but Bamidele pleaded with her to let him handle the situation. Look here, Kemi, he said firmly. I know things got off on the wrong foot between you and Stella in this house, and I have even contributed to her being disrespected as a result of my actions and over-condoning your overbearing attitude, but that stops now. Let this be the last time you would ever raise your voice at her in this house, And if I ever hear you talk to her disrespectfully or call her for any errand, just prepare to pack your load and return to your father's house. I have let my desire for a child blind me to doing the unthinkable in the last few years, but that stops today." Kemi opened her mouth to talk but couldn't find her voice. When did Bamidele become like this, or was her charm wearing off already? Unknown to Bamidele and Stella, Kemi had visited an herbalist years ago to prepare a charm that would make Bamidele fall in love with her. Bamidele's wealth and physical appearance was one that made lots of women in the village attracted to him. Women threw themselves carelessly at him, but he had always held to his stand of having just one wife until the issue of childlessness made him take another wife. Little did he know that Kemi had strategically placed herself in his life ever since the first day she met him. Her getting married to him wasn't by chance at all. One of the conditions the herbalist gave her was that the charm would continue to work as long as Stella remained barren, and she must do everything within her power to make sure Bamidele eventually gets to a point where he sends Stella away from their home. She had felt she was making progress cause of the way he was treating Stella, but how did this happen, or wait? Could Stella be pregnant? She decided she was going to find out, and more so, go pay her herbalist a visit. "I've worked too hard to secure my place in this house, and I won't let her take that away from me," she thought within herself. "Kemi, are you listening to me?" Bamidele shouted. "Wonderful, he has even graduated to shouting at me," she thought within herself. "Yes, my husband," she said while eyeing Stella. Stella stood watching the whole exchange and could sense that something was off. The anger she had felt towards Bamidele in the past few years began to wear off. "This sounds more like the man I married," she said to herself. But what went wrong? What had happened in the past few years? And who was this woman her husband had brought into their home? She decided she was going to keep the news of her pregnancy to herself as long as she could while she makes findings about who Kemi truly was. Bamidele said some other things, after which he told Kemi to apologize to Stella, which she did reluctantly. The next day, Stella was preparing to go see the healer when she noticed Kemi going out of the house with her children. "This is strange," she said to herself. She got up from her bed and decided she was going to follow her to see what she was up to. Kemi dropped off her children with one of their neighbours and headed for a part outside the village. She had no clue that Stella was following her. She kept walking as fast as she could while Stella on her own part followed behind, but left a safe distance between them so she wouldn't see her. She got to a particular hut in the bush and stopped. Stella kept a safe distance and hid somewhere in the bush, enough to hear what was being said, but at the same time not give away her presence. Kemi looked round to be sure no one was following her before knocking. "Baba, it's me, Kemi," she said. "Ha, Kemi, what brings you here and where are my children? I already told you to stop calling them your children," she said sharply. "I only allowed you sleep with me because you said Bamidele's destiny wouldn't allow him father any other child except the one conceived by his first wife. And let's not even talk about how I've been birthing female children when I clearly told you it's a boy I want." Stella stood frozen to the spot she was. Wait, is this really what I think it is? Those children do not even belong to Bamidele. She made way to leave before anyone would see her, but what she heard Kemi say next made her decide she was going to stay. "I think she is pregnant, Baba. Bamidele called a meeting yesterday, and from the way he was talking I could tell the charm on him is beginning to wear off. Stella needs to die, so he can be fully mine." The old man said. "I would give you a charm to add to the other woman's food, and also one for the man. She would automatically loose her baby even if she's pregnant, and once that is done, her husband would hate her more than he ever loved her. The hatred would be so much that he would send her packing." "I know I could trust you," Kemi said. The old man brought out the charm and gave her instructions on how to use it, just as Stella was deliberating on whether to allow her go first so she wouldn't see her or hide till she was sure the coast was clear. She heard the old man talking to Kemi. "You know you can't just go like that now. And who knows, you might just end up having a male child this time around. I am a married woman, Kemi said teasingly, but I'll allow you this once again, Shah. Stella decided it was wise she left immediately. So not only are her children not for Bamidel, but she's still sleeping with the man. She walked as fast as her legs could carry her, and would have run if not for the consciousness of the children she was carrying. Stella entered her room and started pacing. What was she going to do? Should she inform Bamidele? Should she confront Kemi? But what evidence does she have to prove everything she had seen? She decided she was going to go see the healer. She should have a solution to all of this. Stella saw her at the entrance of her hut and knelt down to greet her. "Get up, my daughter," she said. "I assume you now know the truth?" "But Mama." "No, but my daughter. I see more than I say, and there are times people must be allowed to go on their journey to find out the truth for themselves. And yes, your husband does not have the ability to impregnate any woman but you." Stella went ahead to narrate everything she saw and heard that morning to the old woman. "What should I do, wise one? How do I handle this before she acts on her plan?" The old woman cleared her throat before speaking. "You see, for matters like this, one has to be patient, and you need to handle it with wisdom. You must come here, with your husband, tomorrow. Try everything in your power to make sure your husband does not eat any food prepared by her from now till tomorrow, when he would be here with you, and also tell him to instruct her to cook before you people return home." Stella did as she was instructed. By the time she got back home, Bamidele was already in his room resting for the day. She entered his room and sat on his bed. "Bamidele, you said you need me to forgive you, right? I need you to do 2 things for me. First, you would only eat the food prepared by me except I state otherwise, and tomorrow I need you to follow me to the healer's place. We need to see her together." Bamidele, eager to earn her forgiveness, immediately agreed. "I will do whatever you want me to do so far it would make you forgive me." That night, Bamidele ignored the food Kemi brought to her, and Stella, on her own part, made sure to clear all of the food in her pot and quietly transferred them to her room so she wouldn't be suspicious. When it was time not leave the next day, Bamidele instructed her to cook for them before they came back. Kemi eyed them as they left together. "If only he knew he has just given me the perfect opportunity to finish my plan," she said while laughing. "By the time I am done with the 2 of you, you won't even know what hit you." They got to the healer's hut and she ushered them into her hut. "You know, Bamidele, one of the common saying of our ancestors is that what an elder sees while sitting down, even a child while standing cannot see it. You have allowed your desperation for a child lead you to a place where you went and brought the enemy to your home." She then went ahead and narrated what his wife told her and what she had seen in her own visions. She finished up by telling him about his wife's pregnancy. Bamidele couldn't hold his tears anymore. "Stella, please forgive me. Forgive me, please. I should have been more patient. I should have waited with you. What should I do, Ma? How can I make this right?" she asked the elderly woman. "When you get back home today, call your neighbours and instruct Kemi to eat the food she prepared in their presence." Bamidele did as instructed. He called his neighbour today and requested that Kemi eats the food she prepared for him and Stella. She immediately became defensive. "When did this nonsense start, and why are you asking me to eat the food I prepared for you and Stella in front of the neighbours?" "I'll do no such thing, Bamidele. I won't do it. Woman, you better eat that food now if you do not want us to drag you to the king." Kemi stood looking at the crowd. She couldn't eat the food as she was not sure of what the effect would be on her, and at the same time, she couldn't run. My husband, I made this food for just you and Stella alone, and I don't want to shorten your ration. Just let me go inside and bring mine," she said, trying to manipulate the whole situation. By this time, more people had gathered and were shouting at her to eat the food. She made an attempt to run and was caught by some people in the crowd. Please, I cannot eat the food. I might die if I eat it, please." Kemi started confessing about everything she had done, including the fact that Bamidele wasn't the father of her children. "You are a very wicked human," said someone from the crowd. "How can you be this cruel? A whole 3 children and not even one belong to Bamidele." Kemi was immediately sent packing with her kids. Few months later, Bamidele and Stella welcomed their triplets. They had been blessed with 2 beautiful girls and a boy. Bamidele's joy knew no bounds. How he wished he had been patient enough for this day and not made the mistake he made. His relationship with Stella wasn't perfect yet, but they were working on it, and in that moment, as he held one of his children, he made a vow to forever stick by his wife and children for as long as he lived.